everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my brow growth journey. I have been growing out my brows for the last 6 months and I've tried so many different products out on the market, but for some reason the technique that I used in this particular testing actually worked, and I am proud to say that I finally have brow hairs. I went without makeup all weekend long and I didn't need to do my brows. It was amazing. I have so much more brow hairs than I ever thought I could ever have, and it's pretty incredible. Like I said, I've tried so many different things over the course of the last 3 years, and for some reason the technique that I used this particular time worked. I'm going to get into that in a minute. First, I'm going to give you guys my brow experience and kind of my history on my brows. So of course, I was in high school during the 90s and I graduated in 97. It was the in thing to have thin little brows. And so I plucked and plucked and plucked until I had these cute little thin brows. Well, I hate looking back on all the old pictures. My brows were so thin. The problem with over plucking is that you will have a really hard time growing them back in. For me anyway. Now, for those of you who are born with beautiful brows that just keep growing, you are so blessed. So blessed, because the more that I plucked, the less they grew back. And then back in 2005, we were celebrating my daughter's 2nd birthday, and we were having a pool party out on my grandparents have a pool in their backyard. We were having a pool party, we were having a barbecue, and I had zero experience with a gas barbecue grill. I had only used a charcoal grill. Still to this day, I have a charcoal grill. I do not use gas. I'm petrified after this experience. I'm sure you guys know where this is going. I was in the back lighting it up and I turned on the propane, and you know, the bottom of the barbecue was filling up with propane. Well, a friend come up and asked me a question. So I chatted with her for about a minute with the propane filling up into the bottom of the gas grill. As soon as she left, I went ahead and took the long lighter and I lit it up, and it just completely exploded into my face. It singed every hair I had. Literally, I had no hair. I had no eyelashes, no eyebrows. All of the hairs, like right here around the perimeter of my face, gone. In fact, I still never had the hairline that I did back then. So over plucking and then having, you know, some damage to that skin from the burn. I did have some burning. I had to put some burn cream on because I had burning here on my brows and right here on the tip of my nose. I had to, you know, kind of doctor it up with like aloe vera gel and burn cream and stuff like that. But it was a recipe for disaster for me to ever have natural full brows. Over the years, I had tried so many different ways of trying to get them to grow out, and I just had really sparse hairs through there. About 6 years ago, a friend of mine was certified in microblading. She did a really good job, but I, again, was still stuck in that thin brows type of mentality. So she did the microblading. It looked really good. I enjoyed it, but it was too thin. I have had 4 treatments of microblading. The first treatment is the only thing that still exists. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with microblading because as I continued to do it, I built up scar tissue. And the problem with scar tissue is the last time I had it done, which was the 4th time, and I will never do it again, but she put the numbing cream on. Well, I had had it done 3 times prior to this. So I had a lot of scar tissue built up. So the numbing cream could not reach down deep enough to really get numb because it had to go through such thick layer of scar tissue that lays over top of my brows. So when she kept trying to make those cuts, I literally almost came off the table, and she had to cut deep to get through the scar tissue. So here, I'm not numb, and she's having to cut really deep. She needs to get the color down beneath the scar tissue for it to take effect. So it was so painful. It was about 40 minutes of just screaming bloody murder, and I refused to ever do it again. And here's the thing with that. The last time we did it, you know, I don't know that she really could go very deep. So I don't have any of that left. Like whatever pigment she was able to get through did not last for like 6 months. It was gone after 6 months. So the only microblading I have left is from my very first experience. I see the pros and cons with microblading. If you guys have done it and you love it, I'm so glad it worked for you. For me, it wasn't like I had a botched job because the girl who did it did a good job and she did what I wanted. but now I'm left with this strip of pigment that I don't like. What's in for brows changes. So right now the style is to have thick, full brows. From 5 years from now, we don't know what the style is going to be. So now I'm left with this strip of microblade that is completely out of style and I don't want it there, okay? So just think about that if you ever decide to get it done. So that's my experience on my brows. Now, I have used brow growth serums in the past, but I never really got the best results. The way that I did it this time, it kind of just happened and it worked. So it wasn't like I planned it. So I started on January 1st and I started with the RapidBrow Eyebrow Enhancing Serum. I got this from the derm store. I paid $50 for it. I use this morning and night. The other thing about growing out your brows is if you're serious about it, you do have to do it morning and night. I've had the experience where I've done it just at night and it just doesn't work as good. I just got into the habit of it, and just like any time you do anything, once you get in the habit of it, it's very, very easy to do. This actually is a brush. So you just kind of brush it through your brows, making sure that you go over the skin. So you not only want to go through your brows, but you want to make sure that you're touching the skin where you want hair to grow. So before you put this on, if you put on a night cream, I recommend taking a towel or a cotton swab, whatever you want to do, and removing any of your night creams or your day creams from your brows, because you don't want anything on the skin to dilute this. So you want whatever's on the skin, you want it to be this only. So I would just wipe away anything that you have on your skin around your brows, whether it's your daily moisturizer, whatever it is, your night creams, just remove it and then go in with this. So by the end of March, I had run through this. So this lasted me for about 3 months. I subscribed to FabFitFun and they had a thing where you could add on any of their products that they had in store and you have it included into your box. So I had built up some points, so I decided to get this. So this is the RevitaBrow Enhanced. I think I paid like $50 for this. Right now this is available on the derm store for $110. So this is pretty expensive. I actually got a really good deal on this. I started to see results from January to the end of March, as you can see in these pictures. Well, then I switched to this because I knew that this was more expensive. So I was thinking, okay, well, let's see how much further this can take it. Wow. Wow. So I have used this before and it wasn't like I was overly excited to buy it, only because I didn't have the best experience with it. This I'd never tried before, but this I had tried before and I liked it, but I wasn't like in love with it. I didn't see the results that I have now. I think the deal with these, you guys, is that combining these two together. So using this one in the beginning for those first 3 months and then switching it to a different product. And then it was almost like it was the boost I needed. I don't know anything about hair growth or anything like that, but maybe the brows get used to this and maybe it's good to switch it up to something different. I don't know, but for some odd reason, it worked for me. And it wasn't like I wasn't seeing results with this. I was seeing results with this. At the end of April, I really started seeing the hairs come through and I'm like, wow. Then when I switched to May and I'm taking pictures, my brows are growing in so good and they're starting to now take shape, meaning I'm starting to get brow hairs up here that are thick. Before there was hairs up there, but it was very sparse and it looked like I needed to pluck. In fact, I had someone comment like, girl, you need to do something with your brows. You need to shape them. I'm like, I'm growing them out. Like, I am not shaping them yet. I'm growing them out. So mind your business. But, you know, I kind of I just ignored the comments through the brows, you guys, because I was well on my way to getting the brows that I really, really wanted. Now you can see, I just took these pictures 2 days ago. You can see they have completely filled in. If you go back to any of my videos like 6-8 months ago, you will see I had a thin brow. I mean, they were just super thin. Now I actually have a brow that has a shape to them. So not only do I have a brow, but I also have hairs to do something with them. So yes, I do dye them. So that is another important part of this. If you guys want me to create a video showing you guys how I dye my brows, I am more than happy to do that. I do it about once a month, but I use a really affordable product from Amazon, but Very easy to do. It only takes 7 to 10 minutes for me to pop it on. I recommend coloring them only because then it really makes them visible. So you'll have little teeny hairs that you don't even know you have until you put color on them. And then it kind of brings them to life. So I do recommend coloring them about once a month. But for some reason, these two together just worked. So starting out with this and just kind of combing it through and then switching to maybe something a little bit stronger, because I'm assuming based on the price difference that maybe this is not as strong as this, but this kind of gave it the boost to get into this. And I've never had these brows, you guys. Like, it almost makes me emotional because brows have been something I've wanted for so many years. I've always wanted just a nice, beautiful, thicker brow that was mine and wasn't faked, and I can go without makeup. I can go to the lake and not have to put my brows on because I have hairs there and they're actually starting to take shape. Now I'm going to continue to use some sort of a brow growth serum because I have heard horror stories that if you stop using these, it'll go away. I've had that experience with eyelash serums, and I don't want that to happen with my brows because I finally have them where I want them. So right now I'm on the 6-month mark. So I'm going to continue to use RevitaBrow, and I do have another one that I was able to pick up through my daughter's FabFitFun account. And so I'm going to continue to use this, and I will maybe do an update a year later. But the bottom line is starting out with this and then moving on to this just made all the difference in the world. I finally have brows. It's unbelievable. During this time, I have been using this. So this is the SmartLash Eyelash Enhancer, and I bought this from the derm store. So this is only $30. There was one that I was using that irritated the crap out of my eyes. I mean, my eyes were so blurry and just red, and oh, it was horrible. This is so simple, so affordable, and now I don't wear lashes. If you've noticed, for probably the last month and a half, I haven't worn lashes, maybe once or twice, because my real lashes are growing, and I'm going to continue to use this. I love this product. I started out with no lashes. Like, I didn't have very thick, full lashes, and now they're getting better and better. So I highly recommend this for lashes if you're looking for something for lashes. They're getting thicker and thicker and longer, and I like this. This is a really good eyelash serum. So if that's something that you guys have been interested in, I recommend it. Like I said, it's $30. So it's super, super affordable from the derm store. And I think this has lasted me probably about I replace this about every 3 months. So it's not like I go through it very quickly, but the key to this, you guys, is making sure that you wipe off anything that's on your brows, whether it's your night cream or your day cream. That's number one. Number two is applying these twice a day. So if you can only afford to try this one, because I know this one is only $50 and this one's $100, and I totally get it, don't let anything dilute it. Don't have anything on your skin when you're putting this on. Now this one comes in a little applicator like this, and you just run it through the brow. This one is a brush. This one is just kind of a doe foot. Both very easy to use. Go in once and wipe it, dip back in and wipe it, and that's it. Like, you don't have to keep reapplying it. Just apply it once on this eye, once on this eye, and you're golden. All three of these products I have been completely in love with. As you see my before and afters, it's mind-blowing, the difference. Now, every single time I took before and afters, I did dye my brows. So each time I did them, they are dyed. The one in May, I actually used a flash in there because I wanted you guys to see with a flash just how many hairs I had coming through. So I did use a flash in May's picture, but I'm not the best photographer, and I did the best I could on the before and afters, but you can clearly see that these two products have been a game changer for my brows, and I now have thick, full brows that I love. And yes, I like the more feathered brow look, but that's just me personally. We all have our own brow journey. We all have what we like and what we don't like, but no matter what, if you're looking for your brows to grow, I cannot recommend both of these products enough. For me, having these two together, you starting out with this and then switching to this to it's almost like I used this to get the ball rolling, and then I used this as like the Energizer Bunny to really get the ball rolling. It was like stepping it up to the big bad boy to really get in there and get them to grow. So for some odd reason, these two together have been just a game changer for me. That's it for today's video. If you guys have any questions about my microblading experience or any of these growth serums that I've talked about, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to answer as many questions as I can. Again, I'm not an expert in any of this. I have no knowledge about how these work, why they work, and I just know for me they worked. And you know, the proof is in the images, as you will see. I mean, you cannot deny the fact that my before and afters are really, really amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys again for all the love that you guys show me and this channel. It means the world to me. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day filled with love and happiness. I will see you guys in my next video, and I love you all so much. Bye.